Hey, we're live. That is actually great. Let's share the live stream. As you can hear, my voice isn't actually perfect. I have a bit of a cold. Well, I assume it's a cold. But so I doubted whether I should stream today. But I wanted to do I wanted to stream. Practicing. Work. I'm gonna share the brush. Look. Post. I'm gonna share it at some places. Then we're gonna dive right in, working on skills. Digital 5. Post. Excuse me, there will probably be some. I will cough a little bit, probably every now and then. So, but yeah, hopefully everything will be fine. Oh, alright, today I wanted to do something that I have been working on this week, and that is starting to use a bigger variety of brushes to sort of chase the what's it called, the to go for a more traditional look. Last week we did round brush only, and I think that was an interesting challenge, and I think we can do more interesting stuff. But I have got some nice free Photoshop brushes. I have to say, I'm not sure whether these are. Well, I downloaded these from somewhere. This is, for instance, Watercolor Brush, which is really cool. I don't know, I just really like it. It interacts with what's already there, and you can do that in Photoshop as well. For instance, this is now set as a wet brush. You can also set it as a normal brush, and then it doesn't interact that way with the paint that's already there. So this is just painting over it. But if you set it to a mixer brush, then it acts as if it's a wet brush, and it interacts with the colors beneath. So it also interacts with the white from the canvas, I believe, unless I am painting on a new layer. As you can see, then it's not interacting, and it picks up the stuff from the canvas. Now currently not, because I'm in a new layer, so it assumes that the rest is dry. But if we merge that layer and we go on bottom layer, so it assumes that the canvas is this sort of 25% gray-ish color. So, and then it mixes, and here you can actually see that the outside is, I think, is the color that I'm using on my brush, but the little image of the brush is actually what paint is loaded on my brush. And as you can see, it changes every brush stroke. See, we pick up some of that red there, and we can pop it down somewhere else. So that's actually really interesting, because that's more of a traditional thing, and I kind of like that. I kind of like the way that works. So let's start throwing down some more stuff. This is actually quite random. I'm planning on I want to do a quick photo study on this stream. The stream is not going to be that long as it was last week because I have a cold. I'm not very I'm a little bit tired and stuff like that, so I kind of want to keep the stream short, an hour, maybe an hour and a half, but shouldn't push myself too much because I have to release a video tomorrow, and truth be told, I haven't done anything on that video yet. So that's gonna be interesting. This is a watercolor brush, but usually when you press down, the brush gets thicker. But I think it's because of the build-up setting. I don't know if it's the build-up setting. Let's go into brush settings. No, it doesn't. It has transfer, but I wonder what makes it do the way that it does things. Because when I press really lightly, it's the maximum radius, so to say. And when I press really hard, it gets really small. I wonder what the setting that is that causes that. Because I can't really find it. Then we have this charcoal brush. I like the texture that is built in Watercolor Brush. I think we're gonna do something a little bit abstract at this point, just to sort of. I did this week a couple of times already, just to see and feel how this stuff interacts, without actually worrying about subject matter to paint, without worrying about composition and stuff like that. So currently we're just throwing down stuff. See what happens. That's basically it. Throwing paint on the canvas and see if it sticks. Let's get a yellow. I like the yellow. I like the texture on the charcoal. And I think you can do some interesting stuff with this. Get some nice figures there. We should get some references in here and see if we can something. Currently, it's just oh, it's kind of fun. This is a watercolor wash. I'm not sure what. Yeah, it's really set the opacity to 100, as you can see. I think is the opacity controlled by no. There is probably maximum opacity, probably. But this basically means like you can do watercolor washes in real time. So add another light wash to it. You can blend all the colors together a little. I have to say that these advanced brush settings make Photoshop a little bit slower, but blends together so nicely, like real watercolors. And there is the watercolor salt. I'm not sure what this does. Another salty watercolor. Oh, that's actually nice for some randomness in. So I can imagine this being really useful for things like backgrounds and stuff like that. Oh, it interacted a little. we had. Feels almost like an airbrush. So if you press really light, it assumes that it's far away. And if you press hard, it's closer. Something like that. I don't know. I have to say this does look like nothing. It's airbrush, and then we have some interesting brushes. Well, it depends on the angle. The angle you put your brush strokes in. It sort of follows you. So after a while, you get these really interesting patterns. It's a little bit hard to control, but it's also a lot of fun, I guess. It's not too bad to make. Let's make a sort of a mountain. This. Look, it's great for the randomness. Is great for mountain work. Actually, I think if you have a landscape and you want some mountains in it, I think this is actually quite good for that. Maybe. And I think the harder you press, the where it merges together the bristles of the brush. So yeah, it's time for us to get some real image going, I guess. So let's grab a new layer. Let's just fill it in gray and save this, and then I think just gonna Google a landscape image that we can do. The problem is they're not always that interesting. But what does help is I probably should do this on a separate screen like this, so you can actually see what I'm doing. The cool thing is, if you're like, oh, I like this, then you get similar images. So this is quite interesting. I don't really need a stock image. This is also really cool. I really like this. Let's copy it. Let's paste it in here. And in a little bit. Zoom out. I kind of want to work small for this one. So let's grab a black, and then there is this little pencil thingy. Ultimate pencil, and then we can say what this is our canvas. Can probably crop our canvas, but I kind of want to keep it this way. Let's get another layer. So this is on a separate layer. Let's start with a watercolor. That's it. I have tool presets. Not enough yet. I also have a plan, which I might do at some point, is to delete all the custom brushes that I have and start building my own brush collection. So that's probably gonna happen at some point in the future. Not sure when. And there's one thing I want to start to do. Window color. I think I want to start stop picking colors from the original image. You know what I mean? Because I do that all the time. I color pick, which is, I guess, which is fine if you're doing things like concept art and stuff like that. Then you don't have to worry too much about color and all that stuff. So what do I want here? I want from this study. I think I want to. Do I actually want this line drawing? I think I want to play around with the watercolor a little. So let's get going with that, and then maybe do some line work later. Sure. So there we go, and we need some lighter, more towards the yellowish tone, I guess. Yeah, I think that kind of works. Go. Then we go smaller, because we also need to start working on the trees there. They need to be darker. Go. Some there as well. I feel like we have that right. Yeah, it's kind of starts to work now. Go. Not perfect. And we can refine it as much as we want, of course, but kind of want to keep it as rough, quite rough. For now, let's first just block this yellow in. I don't want it to be yellow everywhere because there's quite a lot of green shown here, as you can see. So I kind of want to have that green texture. Is there a maybe this is a blender brush, right? What's that? Let's go back to the it's to be darker, vibrant, especially here at the horizon line. Such a rich yellow. We need to start working on some darker colors there. Now I did it again. I color picked from the canvas there. That's something I usually do with my studies, and not entirely sure if that's a good practice or not. So if anyone does know that, when you're studying, should you color pick from the canvas that you're studying from, or try to pick the color manually? I think if you're working more on the composition and stuff like that, I think it doesn't really matter. I think it's maybe better pick it from the canvas, but if you're working on understanding the color, maybe it's better to do it manually. I don't know if that makes sense. Look, I think I did a pretty good job with the manual picking up color. Or is it just something that is to do when using digital, and should we just that tool we have to our disposal. I mean, the end result is what counts, right? Not necessarily process. So if the end result counts, then why should I bother with how I get to that end? So interesting things to think about. Is it time for the pencil? It's quite a challenge to change brush. I think it's time. There's a whole different vibe to it. It's much more opaque. Of course, we can turn down the opacity, but I'm trying to work with 100% opacity brushes now. Because I always struggle with that setting. Do I work with a lower setting, with a higher setting? But I think if I want to get a better understanding of color, I probably should start working with 100% opacity. Maybe some pressure opacity control, or I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense. Worry about that. I feel that things like contrast are easier to achieve when your opacity levels are higher. Well, I tend to overshoot things then. See that the light areas of these trees, they're a little bit too light. I feel like I can do a better job here, but highly sure. I'll probably just give it a little bit of time. Not the most difficult image to start with, and that's sometimes a good idea, to just grab an easy image and work on that. Something that you find easy, just to warm up, get some confidence going. Because if you immediately start with the difficult stuff, might get discouraged. I get discouraged when I don't want to get that fresh on there. I feel like the contrast with the yellow is a lot higher at the top. Let's pick this and compare the two. Yeah, it's a lot darker. Do I fix it? No, I'm gonna keep it this way. I stand by what I did. We change it up a little bit in style. Could go like this. Get more of a cartoony style image. Which is fine, but not sure if I'm looking for that. I'm not entirely sure what I want from this image. If there is anything that I want to improve on, because it's quite simple. I think I'm gonna do the cartoon thing. So Is it cartoony? I don't know. More of the outline stuff. Architecture, which we could put. Should be class. Doesn't have to be perfect copy. Not sure if I like it this way. It fits the muted colors a little bit better, I think. But I'm not sure if it. I could have done it probably 2 times as fast if I immediately decided to do what I did here. I've got a running nose. That's actually really, and I don't have any tissues here. I might have to do something about that at some point. We'll see. Anyway, let's go and. Ooh. I actually like this. Kind of did similar. Oops, it's quite big. Similar painting a while ago, or last week. Let's do that. Outline again. Like that, and then just get rid of this. Probably want that rectangular tool. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Let's go with some oils here. Do I immediately start with oils, or do I start with a watercolor wash? I start with a watercolor wash. I think I really like this watercolor brush, just to put down some stuff on the canvas, just something to sort of grip into. It's really works for clouds and skies and I don't know. It's amazing. So we have this. Let's see the wet blender, and let's put a strength a lot lower, 10%, and we can blend these colors in. So we make them get a much more gradient, like using a big soft brush, which is also something we can do. We can grab the soft round brush. Let's go brush. Oh, we use the wet brush now. It's actually nice. Just a normal brush tool. Yeah, I should experiment more with wet brushes and stuff like that in Photoshop, because they're fun. Let's do the bristle thing, the low bristle flat angle thingy brush. So that should be perfect to sort of block in these mountains. Look at that! It's like Bob Ross, but digital. Look at that! It's great. I love it. It's amazing. Can some of this, do some of that. I like it, and then we can add some of the what's it called, gravelly stuff, and then maybe we grab the blender again and try to blend it in places, not everywhere, just work on the edges. And then grab the pencil, start working in that water line, and maybe sort of foam there as well. Look, that's a quick study. I like it. Can polish the mountains a little. One, two. It's funny because I'm a lot more comfortable just working away at these mountains than I am at a landscape with stuff. I know I like mountains. It's my go-to subject to paint. Why I probably should switch it up every now and then as well, but I like them. So let's get some texture in there as well. Texture in there. And again, it's not here to make a perfect copy of it, but just to see how we can use the different brushes to get a nice looking study. And then where's my watercolor again? I wanna get this this fog. Line up, but that's okay. So lighter colors there. Colors. And then if we really want to brighten this up, again, should use the Dodge tool. Go. Done. It was a really quick one, but I liked it. I'm gonna take a real short break and grab some tissues for my nose. Otherwise, gonna work out. I'll be right back. Let's see, right. There's my break screen. I'll be back in a minute. And I'm back. Alright, so let's do another one. Do a third. A little bit out of breath. And after that we will... I'm not sure what I'm gonna do after that. Whether... Really out of breath. Whether I'm gonna do another set or end the stream early. I don't know. Just wanted to stream so that YouTube is okay. Oh, he is actually working. So let's do something like this. Copy that, throw it on. Right, boom. Where is my little pencil? Draw a box. So let's also get rid of this here. Right, let's start with watercolor for the sky, and then I'm gonna use oils. Because I want to get better at the oils in Photoshop. Quite difficult. So let's just block in the overall colors, I guess. Something like that. And then we go to, I think these are default Photoshop brushes. Real oils. There we go. Now, I have no experience in traditional oils or anything, so this is really new to me. So how do you I know you have to beat the devil out of it every now and then. That's all I know about oils. Thank you, Bob Ross, for that. I think keeping it nice and sort of clean. There we go. I think I want to go a little smaller. Dark areas in as well. See here. I tried using this brush before, as in a really long time ago. And I don't know, for some reason I couldn't handle it. I was way too what's it called? Way too much unrest in my painting style. I still struggle with that. And I'm way too quick sometimes. Not deliberate enough. My painting. So I'm trying to become calmer when painting. these last few months, or it's getting better the last few months. It's been a struggle. I've been struggling with that for years already. Probably due to my ADD. Professionals say ADHD, the something kind. Able to concentrate kind. So that's been a huge struggle for me to sort of take my time, slow it down a little bit, take more time with paintings as well. As you can see, I did this really quick, and if I really want to, I should probably spend a lot more time with it and make it a lot better. I think that it has more potential than I'm currently, so to speak. So that's an ongoing struggle. Where was I going with? So then this brush is absolutely trash to use. You really, if you're not, I think I wasn't always paying attention to what I was doing. That makes sense. So then it gets quite hard to control this brush. If you're not really paying attention to what you're doing and what the brush is doing, you really have to pay attention and think a lot about it. And then it's absolutely brilliant. I think I haven't fully unlocked the potential, so to say. But by doing these practice sessions, I'm trying to unlock potential of wide variety of shot brushes. And the default brushes, that is. And that's why I am planning on deleting all custom brushes in the future, just to restart, to have a fresh start with Photoshop, and instead of relying on other brushes, I'm planning on making my own. If I have a thing where I'm like, oh, I can make a brush for this, I'm planning on doing it. Can join me on that journey. As you can see, I'm still struggling with that brush to sort of get where I want to be, I guess. But we're getting there. We're getting there, slowly but surely. I feel like I want lighter yellow there. Do I paint in these tree? Oh, let's try it. I feel like it can use a lot more back there. Sure how to bring that in. Blender. Foliage? Wow. It's actually quite. Want it to be red, yes. And for this, it's gonna be. Yes. Go. Still not close to where I want to be. It's the mixture brush, right? Right. I still struggle a little bit with how that works. Let's get the pencil again. Use the pencil for a while. It's not my my best one, but that's okay because this is all practice. Without this, I would not have used that. Said Foliage, which is actually quite fun to use. I'm gonna experiment with that a little. Sure, I guess. Some more stuff. Well, branches. Yeah. Also need action. This is a struggle. Let's try to render this branch in here. And as I said before, I probably need to, well, not probably, I need to take more time, be more deliberate with my painting, my brush strokes, stuff like that. As you can see, let's try to take that time. The rest of the time of the stream that we have, we still have a lot of time. We still have 10 minutes. If I want to do that hour, I can go over a little much, but let's try to quote unquote fix this. Go some color in there. So overlap this background. Yeah, we definitely need to work on these lighter areas here. Since this tree. Let's not zoom in. I think working zoom down is focus on the stills. Some branches going there. Get some highlights of some lighter areas of the background in there, shining through this leaf. Probably a texture brush that I can use for that, so batter or something. There. Yes, there is. Oh wait, should probably do. Zoom in. Could have saved myself a lot of time with this. But hey, that's what you learn from. A lot of layers here. That's actually, as in not layers in Photoshop layers, but layers of kinds of paint. Started with that watercolor in the background, spatter here. Or we should spatter. Use the blender tool. Sort of blend this together better. Okay, make more like. Feel we need that. Yes, we need that. Good. Maybe a little bit overkill, but maybe not that much. Time for the throw the fear out of the window. Problem, I go too quick and it gets nowhere, or too afraid to do anything and then it doesn't go anywhere as well. So I need to find that balance between those two. No fear, but no mindless painting. It's quite interesting to try to find that balance. Still sucks. Great. Oh boy. Oh well, if you zoom out, let's see. Yeah, there's a little bit. There needs to be a little bit more contrast. I think that's probably it. Oops. Get on screen. Good idea. There's just not enough contrast in some areas. So let's just get a brush's size default round brush. Put it at 80%. Just go ham here. And that's what I meant with what I said before about using higher opacity our brushes. As you can see, it really brings in the contrast that we need. And I just have to focus on color that I want there. If I were, for instance, painting on, let's say, 50%, look at that. That's a lot worse. Not getting that contrast that I want. So some just here. So we did quite a journey with this one. That with watercolor, we switched to oils. We got some sort of pattern, foliage brush. Now we're bolting back to Photoshop brush types. But that's okay. It's a lot of variation, and hopefully that will help the eventually. I'm not sure about this. Sure. I haven't really paid attention to it, although it's sort of part of the image. It's sure. Maybe it should be a little bit. That was one of those moments where I got way too quick. Too quick. I can probably go quicker even. We go. And then maybe some. What do I do with the leaves? Do I add those? Sure. I want that. Font. Say. I think I'm gonna paint it like this and then overpaint again. So, little bit of texture in there, and then try to grab some leaves and some more orange in there. Shadow. cast a little bit of shadow. So, not too great, but hey, oh, there is actually a thing there. Let's focus. Let's go in shadow. Well, make that our rear window reflection, I should say. Some shadows in there. Bushes. Highlights on the bushes. There we go. Too great. I think we have the what's it called? Contrast that we. Maybe I should use the blender brush to blend those. Wet blender strength 10 probably. Soften up some of the edges. Actually here. Go. Up some of this. Oh wait, I'm so stupid. I put the break screen up and I never really got rid of it. So that's where you can see that I'm not really paying attention today. I'm sorry for that. That's why everyone went on immediately left again. We're like, oh, he's on a break. I will come back later. Oh, he's still on a break. I'll come back later. Or I won't come back anymore because he's on a break constantly. So that's that. It's kind of sad. Yeah, not that. Next week. I don't know what I have to think about it. It could probably use some more work, but it's time, I guess. Yeah, we have 1 hour and 5 minutes in. I don't really have any energy left for today, so I'm gonna end it here. I think that spatter brush is really interesting for trees and highlighting trees and stuff like that. So that's definitely something that we learned. Oils are incredibly difficult in Photoshop. Well, I find them incredibly difficult. I don't know maybe it's the way they blend in Photoshop. I don't know. I haven't really worked with real oils, so can't really compare that. Yeah, the watercolor brush is really amazing, but that's not a default brush. That's some brush that I downloaded in Mac. So we're gonna have to figure out how to remake that if I'm ever gonna delete all those brushes. I'm really tempted though. Not today, but another maybe next week or something. And then make our own brushes. Yeah, let's zoom out and see. Good. I think the contrast here around the water is not great. The rest is so. But I learned a lot, so that's a good thing. That's why we are here. Really, I'm really thinking whether I should do another one or should end the stream here or do a quick one. it's probably better for me to end it here, but it's also once you're sort of in the zone, you kind of want to keep going. Brush do I have here? What a watercolor. Get that. This bush is just not there. Now it is. Hello. Welcome. Painting. I think there is grass on the bridge. Yeah. Let's go back to the brown brush. So out of place in the. It kind of makes it cool as well. Yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna end next week. Hopefully we'll have a longer stream. Hopefully I will feel better. I assume I will feel better. So then we can have a proper 2 or 3 hour stream again. So that's great. Today it was fun. We learned some things. And yeah, maybe next week we will study something else than landscapes. Maybe characters or objects, or we'll see. I'm not done yet with all the brushwork practice and see what we can achieve with that, because it's a lot of fun. It forces me to slow down, and that's a good thing for me. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.